there's nothing special about this. It's just like people go, how do you do it? I go, well, I can write books.
By the way, so I'm gonna be very similar to you, where I'm doing at least one book a year minimum, documenting everything I do, building $100 million plus to $1 billion company. So I'd be interested in talking to you about. I know you run your own publishing company. If Brandon's gonna crank out all this content, has the sales, has the audience, like what about potentially working together, and what would the value for you be and the value for me be?
Sure,
you've got the system down.
Well, I don't know if I have the system down. I mean, I'm at the tail end of my next book right now, and I just want to go find a place and throw myself into it. I'm so tired of this damn book, and the problem is that I'm on video all day long. So I come into the office, I mic up, and we've got 5 sound studios here that we built from the ground up, and I'm on all damn day long. And the problem is that when I'm on all day long, I don't have time to write. Like I can't. It's not like I'm in between things and I can write. And then I get home at night and I'm completely worn out. So tomorrow I got to finish this damn book. So it's I don't know that I have a system. I have grind. Like I just have the will to work harder than anybody else. I don't know that I have any. There's nothing special about this. It's just like people go, how do you do it? I go, well, I can write books. I mean, I don't know. I just,
Is your process like when it started, did something like kick off and we're going to cut a lot of this content and customize it, my video crew, into the podcast. So we'll slice it all in, and we'll just kind of like go off the cuff, and then I'll do the real intro here in a second. But what is your process like? What is your why do you write so many books? What motivated you to do that? And then what is your process to doing it? Like, do you just write every day, or do you do it every week, every month, whatever?
You're supposed to write every single day. And when people ask me like how to write books, I go, write every single day. And if you don't believe me, go get Stephen King's book, on writing, and then follow his advice, write every single day. Anthony writes every single day. That's his thing. I don't do that. I write when I'm inspired. I write when I'm under pressure. There's nothing like a deadline that really drives me. I write when I'm engaged in a book. So, my big win this year was with virtual selling. So, 100%. So Wiley sent me a note at the tail end or the beginning of January, and basically said, we have all these authors, and they're a big publisher, and I love Wiley. I'm so grateful to have a chance to work with them. But they're like, of all our publishers, you were the only one that your 2020 book sales were higher than your last year book sales. Where publishing sort of dropped off a cliff this year because of COVID and everything else that was going on.
Yep.
And especially physical books. At the beginning, because Amazon wasn't even shipping books. Like they would, if you ordered a book, it was going to take them, 10 weeks to get a book to you. Yeah. So the virtual selling was the reason that happened. I mean, it wasn't like there was some easy button, magic button I pushed. But what I did was on March the 16th, 14th, yep. 14th was Friday, 15th, 16th, 17th, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day last year, I was in the shower and I'm like, virtual selling, I got to write this book, virtual selling. This is March 17th. So that week we cranked out Selling in a Crisis, which was a full production training program, multiple videos. I mean, when I say multiple videos, I think there's 27 videos in that particular course. We cranked that out in the studio that week. It was 15,000 words. So I wrote a 15,000 word book that week, cranked that out, and then I got out of the shower that morning.
Basically, so did you record that? So you recorded all the video. Hey, let's transcribe this. Boom, let's put it in the book.
I wrote the scripts and then recorded the video. Because it's high. I mean, this is a studio quality training program. So yeah. I'm in studio. I've got, multiple camera operators. I've got a teleprompter in front of me because I'm not that good. I can't just riff, without any mistakes. And we sold 10,000 copies of that training program in April. So just like that. But that morning I walked out of the shower, and you probably are aware the guy who founded Atari. My favorite quotes is good. Everybody's got an idea in the shower. I'm paraphrasing.
Dude,
Handful of people
I took my phone into the shower, no lie, this morning, and I was thinking about an intro to my book, and I literally brought the phone in with me into the shower because we got this like a spa-like shower, and I was recording the thought that I had because I was worried I would forget it.
Exactly. So I got notes outside the shower, write stuff down. If I had my way, I would have a shower in the office. I do have a shower in the office. That would just look really funny, but I would go about 3 times a day. I'd go hop in the shower for an hour and think.
The best place to think.
But I walked out. I called the publisher and said, I called Shannon, my editor, and said, I got this crazy idea. I want to write this book, but we have to publish it in 60 days. Well, that's not how big publishing works. I mean, the reason I self-published my very first book is that I couldn't wait 2 years for them to publish me. I wanted it now. So she said, I'm in. And wow. I wrote that book, and basically 3 days later, we had it up online. I wrote that book in 60 days, and we had it out. But I was inspired, and it's been an international blockbuster. I mean, the book has just been insane. And I thought, everything in my heart thought, we're going to write this book, and it's going to be good through the end of July, and then back to the grind on something else.
Yeah.
And I just published Inked, which is one of my favorite books on negotiation. But Ink got swallowed up by the pandemic, so we had launched that book, and then the pandemic hit.
Brutal.
So sometimes you're dealing with a book like Virtual Selling, and you're totally on fire for it, and it just works.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the pandemic, I had a lot more time than I have right now. And so it was a little bit easier to put that time in. So my next book is going to be the Fanatical Prospecting Playbook, which I've been promising for 2 years, because I'm on fire for that now, and I've got to get that out the door. And that's where, this book, the book I've got coming out next is called Virtual Training Bible. And so I'm basically breaking down every single thing that we learned in the pandemic, and we're doing training at a level that nobody else in the world is doing. We do production at a level no one else is doing. I've got 3 full-time producers. This is a self-produced studio called The Clubhouse. But even here, like when people come in here, their mouths drop because I don't see a camera. All I see is a piece of glass. And your face is on it, and your eyes are right where my camera is. It's the most beautiful.
Dude, I gotta come out there. Out there. I built a home studio. I had a big studio in my office until we shut down the office for a short term. But yeah, I love it, dude. And you inspired me too about you go into the studio to do your audiobooks for 15-hour recordings. Mm-hmm. Like you're a workhorse, and I love that.